right. Good morning once again, everybody. Good morning. Can you all hear me? Please confirm my audio before I proceed. I hope you can hear me. Somebody should confirm my audio if it is clear. I hope you should be able to hear me. Please, somebody should confirm my audio. Can you guys hear me? I'm waiting for a response if anybody can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. Okay, so let's go into the main business. We're supposed to have started by 5, but this is 5:31. It's all still okay. Today is just introduction. So we have someone joining us just to give an update so that the new people that are here will know why they are here. I think we have the other two persons, that is Miss Mercy and the other guy. They have been our digital marketing students. So we have gotten to the content creating aspect of digital marketing. That is the reason why we feel that there are some persons that have been chatting us all this while that they want to learn graphic design, because that is graphic design and video editing, which happen to be the aspects we are going into for now. That is why we are advertising for more persons to join this aspect. So it has nothing to do with, there's no conflict. So they are actually two different things. So we digital marketers are only learning this so that we can create content and we can push via the platform we have learned. So I just need to give that update so that it will not confuse anybody. So we are looking at general introduction to infographics content creating, which is known as graphic design. Looking at infographics content creating, which is also known as graphics design. So like I told us that you have to be noting down your definition or your key points. I just want to give us a brief introduction and then we go into the application we want to learn, want to use for learning how to create infographics content. So let's start by understanding some keywords, also key terms in this field of graphics design or graphics content creating. We need to understand what is graphics, and then we need to understand what is design, so that by the time you join them together, graphic design, you know what exactly you are talking about. The word graphics itself represents using an image, using colors, using shapes, using lines for illustration. I hope somebody got that. I said the word graphics itself means using shapes, using pictures, using text, using colors, using lines for illustration or for communication. So graphics is one of the communication type and is a serious one, right? So your ability to use any of those mentioned, that is the image, the text, the color, the lines, layouts, to portray a message, to pass a message, to illustrate, is what we know as graphics. Graphics. Now, for those of us that are in digital marketing, how does it concern us directly? Yes, we advertise, we market content. And one of our content is graphics. And most people uses graphics. For example, if you are running ad on Facebook, you are going to leverage more on infographics content. If you have seen most of the ads you come across on Facebook, most of them are graphics content. So which, like I told us, that it is not our direct responsibility as digital marketer to be 100% graphic designer. Is another field entirely. Is another field. You are supposed to be contacting them when you need their services. But the reason why we, Digitazil, decided to add it, because we want you to save costs. We don't want you to spend the whole money in paying graphic designer, because they are very expensive. They are very expensive, particularly when you come across the ones that knows what they are doing. They are very expensive. And most time you design almost every day. If somebody is charging you an average of 10,000 to design just small handbill, or 15,000, and you are producing that handbill almost every day, that is money by the time you add it up in a week. And that is why we feel that most time the graphic design aspect may even take the whole money from you. Graphic design and video content creating will take the whole money from you as a digital marketer. And that is for graphic design. For video editing, very expensive. Somebody can charge you 30,000 to edit a video for you, 60,000, 100,000 to edit, to shoot and edit for you. See, all these things takes money, and the client you are discussing with is pricing you maybe 40,000 or even 100,000. By the time you remove the cost of graphics, by the time you remove the cost of hiring presenters, by the time you remove the cost of shooting, you see that the whole money has gone. And that is why we feel that let us introduce our students to it. All right. So because we are adding other students to this section, then we will now go deeper than what you need as a digital marketer. Is your luck, because we're actually marketing other students into it for graphic design. Because if we are teaching you strictly for graphic design, there is a length we will go. But if we are teaching you strictly for for digital marketing, you don't go to the end of it. You don't get to the end of it. So you are not, as a digital marketer, to be that top, professional in it. You just, for you to have, let's say, introduction and intermediate knowledge, so that if somebody designed for you, you will not be able to criticize what is not right. Because when you don't have idea at all, that is where you tell somebody that, okay, I want to run ad for someone, and the person will say, okay, the person will come up with his own standard. But you, as a digital marketer, you'll be able to know that this standard does not meet the standard to really get audience. So you will not be able to point at, this color is not catching, this heading is not well arranged, That is because you have intro and intermediate knowledge. All right, because when you learn it to the end, is a different career now you are building outside digital marketing. You can decide to finish this training if we have other persons buying into it and you follow them till the end. You can decide to say, okay, you don't want to practice digital marketing anymore. You just want to be a graphic designer, and they are making money. They are making money. The people that this current trend is affecting are the printers, because most people are no longer printing. Somebody will just do birthday, design e-copy. They are not printing again. Wedding, just design e-copy. They are not printing again. But for graphic designer, the job is very much available for us. So I have tried to relate how it affects those of us that are here for digital marketing and those of us that are here for pure graphic design. There are a lot of, if you have a business, if you don't have knowledge of graphic design, you will spend a lot, because sometimes you want to do advert, you want to do design small thing, you see them charging you. All right, so let's put it in proper context so that we can move to the application we want to use. So graphic design is the art of creating. Graphic design is the art of creating. Visual content is the art of creating visual content to communicate messages. The art of creating visual content to communicate what? Messages, like I have established before now. Is about creativity. Is about the power of imagination. That is what we charge clients for. They cannot imagine things out. So we are very innovative. We can sit down and construct a fantastic design and then actualize it with any of the two, you know. So thinking the concepts is one. Actualizing the content is two. Somebody can think of a very good design for handbills, but by the time you ask him or her, which tool are you going to use to implement that which you have imagined? They don't have any tool. They will end up telling you they will use Canva. They will use Canva. Yes, Canva is not, I don't preach to people to go and learn Canva when they want to learn graphics. Somebody will just cajole you because he wants to do it sharp and collect his money. You know, if I come on board now and say Canva for 3 days, you pay 30,000. You know, you will let so many people like that kind of short training. Like as we are advertising now, the reason why some people are not just because they're looking at the time. When we say 1 month, when we say 2 months, to them it's too long. If you advertise something that within 2 days they finish learning it, you see them buying into it. So, but Canva, those ones are not, you are not a graphic designer. You are only, you do not do the thinking. Somebody have taught for you. You are just going there to exploit templates. You don't even need anybody to teach you Canva when you are done with all this main graphic design that we are teaching. You don't need. Nobody taught me Canva. Everybody can go there, and once you get to Canva, it's very explanatory. If you are coming from this background, it's only people that do not have this core graphic design training that will go to Canva and be looking for somebody to train them. Because Canva is just like a template. Somebody have designed a template for ID card, designed a template for wedding card, designed a template for common design. And then when you get there, you click on the name that is there, edit it to your name. Is that what you call graphic design? You are not creative. So, but if you want to learn graphic design, you need to learn the computer-based graphics design app, Photoshop or CorelDRAW. These are the two major computer-based graphic design. For this training, we are focusing on Photoshop. So we will look at it after because the one that affects the digital marketer is just Photoshop, and the one for video editing. So when we see the number of persons that will join here, when we are done with the Photoshop, digital marketer will face their own course. and then we'll continue. Then we can bring in other ones like CorelDRAW into the picture. But for now, we are going to zero on Photoshop. So I just wanted us to understand the meaning of graphics design. Remember that I've explained graphics before. Now, if I bring design to it now, I said earlier on that graphics is using shapes, line, color, pictures to communicate. Now, if you say graphic design, the design there is talking about the creativity. The design there is talking about the creativity. So when somebody is being addressed as a graphic designer or using our digital marketing term, which is infographics, you see that word infographics has defined it all. That is a kind of direct definition that tells us what information design, information picture, information shape, not just shape. It must be information. It must be the one that is passing a message. That is why we describe it in digital marketing as infographics instead of just calling it graphic design. We are already trying to wear it cap so that it will look like what we are learning it for. I hope somebody is hearing me, please.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so that is what. So let's quickly look at some of the key elements. Let's look at some of the key elements of graphic design or infographics. Key elements, and I hope we are taking note of some of these things. Key element. When we say element, we are talking about what makes up the entire graphics design we're talking about. And when you meet every graphic designer, after this class, the next time you see somebody you know as a graphic designer, you should always observe this from them. And for those of you that know me for a while, you know that I plan my time. I think, I strategize. It's one of those things that program like this have taught me those days. Programming language, graphic design. These are the languages or programs that have structured me to be a critical thinker. I plan ahead. So we'll look at some of these components, the elements, what can be used to what we can say that these are the major thing that makes up what graphic design or infographics. Number one is typography. Typography, that is number one, typography. So what is typography? Typographic means fonts. And I want you to prioritize this. The handwriting you are using to write on your design matters a lot in this field. Matters a lot. You see, those of us that are going to be running ad and you will design. The reason why some ad will not break even because you did not use the right typography. You did not use the font that is user-friendly. You did not use font that when somebody come across your design on Facebook or on TikTok or on Instagram or on any platform you are marketing it, the font is catching. So we don't use font anyhow. In fact, in this field, any shape, if you draw a cycle, you put a question mark. What is this cycle saying? If you cannot have answer, you have no point of using it. That is what this field is all about. If I'm using red to paint a write-up or a shape, if I give a shape red color, I'll put a question mark. What is this red saying compared to blue that I'm also using on the text? How does this red correlate? If you cannot see any connection to the messages they are passing, you have not done anything. You are not a good graphic designer. Every element speaks. Every element speaks. And these are what I want us to understand in this session. I am not going to hurry us because there is a mindset of creative people that I need to also teach along, not just interested in just going to the Photoshop and start drawing. No, if I just take out to the Photoshop and start drawing now, you will fail at the end of the day if you don't wire yourself with this thinking logic that I'm trying to, teach us now. So there must be a reason why you are using red. There must be a reason why you are using a certain shape. If your shape curve, you must tell us what message is that curve passing. So that is why it's very important to understand this word graphic design key elements. Number one, I said typography. Typography. What does typography mean? I say it means the usage of fonts, the handwriting. So you need to calculate the font you use. Use creative fonts. Don't go and use font like Algeria. Those are for MS Word. Use creative fonts. There are some graphic designers that will go further to go and buy applications that can install creative fonts on their laptop. Just for you to know how they value font, the handwriting. When you see some design, you see the way the S is curving. You see the way the T is curving. All those things, they are fonts. They also pass their own messages. Then text, the write-up. The write-up matters a lot. Now, let me say this. You don't do graphic design and have more text than shapes. You don't communicate with more text than shapes. It's very important in graphic design. If you want to communicate more with text, then you will have considered using Microsoft Office Word. In as much as design, you should have more shapes, more illustrative shapes than just plain text. But we have text. Text must be there. Whether you like it or not, at some point you must write. It's very important. It's very important. Then we have layouts. We are still talking about all these are under typography. Typography is made up of fonts, text, and layout. That is typography now. Layout here is talking about the placement. It's talking about the placement. So after writing a text, the way you position it matters a lot also. So that also forms the graphics. The next key element in graphic design is color. I hope you are taking note of this. I said the video may not get to you today, it may get to you tomorrow. Color. The next key element is color. 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 So like I have spoken before, colors are very essential. Color scheme. You must have a color scheme. You must have a color scheme. What I mean by color scheme, you must have a set of colors that you want to use per design. If you give me a design now, like Puritas, I should ask you for your color scheme. It is not a crime that you ask the client because you cannot imagine that. But sometimes you can decide not to ask them if you have seen their logo. Every company, their logo form their color scheme. That is one of the secrets how you can know. A self company that design logo without understanding what logo is. Every logo should have at least, if your company have 3 favorite color, your logo should carry 2. Your logo should carry 2. It's very important. But where you do not have access to their logo, then you will now have to ask them. They will suggest the color. They will tell you, okay, they like. Now, take note of the order at which they are mentioning the color. So you don't go and ask them which one is the best. If I ask you now that, okay, let me Puritas, Mrs. Oyekosi, please, if you can hear me, just name 2 favorite color of yours. Just give me 2. I want to test run something so you know how to find out the person first color. I don't know if she's here, if she can hear me. If she cannot hear me, let me go to someone else. Mr. Ifai, just name 2 of your favorite color for me.
Black and white.
Black and white. Now, unfortunately, black and white, they are not color that we count. They are what we call primary color. though they are color, but when we come to redesign, when you use them, you will not be charged for it. But okay, let's say I'm working with that, black and white. Now, Mercy, can you tell us Mr. Ifeanyi first favorite color? He mentioned black and white.
Red and white, sir.
Offline. I am asking, not you. Okay. Mr. Ifeanyi says that his favorite colors are black and white. And I am asking you to tell us the favorite color, the first one. He mentioned two.
Okay, white.
No.
White.
It's black.
It's black. It's black.
Ah.
Look at this. Now look at the order he mentioned it. He said black and white.
And white.
It's black.
Okay.
So you don't need to ask the client. Oyikosi, we are not hearing us before. You don't need to ask the client. Just let the client list out your color. That one that is going to rise first. That is the first one. So what it means is that if the client gives you 5 colors, just pick the first 2 as the most used color in that design. You can just have the touch of maybe the third one if you want to do 3 color design, or if you want to do 4 color design, you prioritize on the first 2. The first ones you have more of it, followed by the second one, and that is how you grade it. So that is the graphic design communication. So that person, by the time you are done with the design and you use more of black, you are going to speak his mind. So color is an essential element in what? Infographics content creating or graphic design. You must have a set of color. That is what we are calling color scheme. Color scheme. All right. So now, even when we get to the website aspect of digital marketing, for those of us that are in for digital marketing, when we get to the website, because when you say web design is still there, creativity is still there. All this that I'm speaking, we still come in there. So as you are learning some of this concept now, it will help you when we get to content creation management system. Still under the color, the first option under color is color schemes. The second option is contrasts. Contrast is talking about the quality of those colors. So it's part of it. The next key element in infographics is images. You see, all these elements that I'm bringing out, they are elements you must prioritize. You cannot be a good graphic designer and you don't know how to plan colors. You don't know how to plan the handwriting. Your own is just to go there and pick any handwriting. No, everything speaks. Images. Under images, we have photos, we have illustrations, we have icons. Under images, we have photos, we have illustration, we have icons. So you must know how to differentiate icon. Have you not seen most of the design that we have today? There's a reason why I choose to use Photoshop. Yes, CorelDRAW is more exciting. People that are coming into the field, you are expected to go and learn from CorelDRAW because CorelDRAW is more basic, so it has advanced aspects, so it's more beginners friendly. Photoshop is for the senior bros, it's for the senior citizen, people who have advanced. But there's a reason why I choose, because I can train you the basic aspect of it in a way that it's not going to be difficult for you. And there's a reason why I'm choosing it. Because most of the graphics that we see out there today, they are raster graphics. So what is trending today is raster graphics. Do you think most graphic designers are doing much work? If I tell you the secrets, you will not want to be paying them when they tell you one design is 10,000, of which they are not even the one doing most of the work. But because you don't know it, what they understand is the communication. Was you tell them the topic of your design, maybe deliverance, maybe you are designing for a church and say deliverance, that is enough. They've already know the shape that represents deliverance. They've already know some designing elements That when somebody see them, okay, this is about deliverance. You know, when they bring out somebody that the chain is broken like this, they know that is deliverance. That itself has passed the main message, not some of the things that you end up writing. They know background. So I'm going to show us a website where you can go and get all these things. If there are some of them that they pay for. They pay for. Some of them even subscribe for AI app that does all the design for them. But the AI own is not real. It's not natural design. It's not natural design. So, but some of them will use the AI own to generate the concept, the shaping, the placement, and everything, the color combination. Then they will not go and sit down with the Photoshop and emulate it to not look real. You see the secret now? They will use AI when they are struggling with, okay, how does a flyer supposed to look like a flyer for social business? You know, once you put that, AI will just generate it. Then they are not going to give the client that AI copy. They will take that AI copy, the image, place it side by side, and because they understand how to use this to Photoshop and CorelDRAW, they will emulate it line by line. And where by the time they are done, you prefer that one over the AI copy. As the name implies, it's artificial. It's not real. It's just like you, real human being, and artificial. This artificial, they are not yet commanding authority. People have not come to realize that. Do artificial thing, artificial AI video, artificial graphics. Let me tell you, there are people that those designs are not really commanding attention. So when you want to run ad on Facebook, you better go and get redesigned. Those will command more audience than the AI own. There is this thinking left. There's a way people think on this AI stuff. So people think that they are not serious thing. I don't know if anybody is getting what I'm saying. They would have feel that when you come up with AI video, like all those AI video, if you are using AI video to advertise things like tech, people don't value it. But if this person comes out now, like me now, and I'm talking about tech, and you come across it on your Facebook, you will listen to me than what that one that somebody created with AI. So even though AI is trendy, we need to know, those of us that are in the field, that there are certain things that AI is not the best when it comes to people, trusting. So you must not be a tech professional that want to use AI for everything. There could be some things you may be missing out. We are not disputing that the AI is not working. It's because they are running from costs, and it will definitely cost you something. You don't want to pay a graphic designer to give you real design, natural design. You now run to AI. You are saving money at the expense of you not getting the trust you're supposed to get on that design. So images is very important. The image. Most of us, when we want to design, once I get the topic, I go to a particular website where I can get clear images, high resolution images, not images that are blurred, sharp. All these have a way of adding to your design. You don't use picture anyhow. You know, there are some pictures that somebody took with a very low phone that the camera is very poor. If you use that, by the time somebody zoom it like this, it's blocked. But there are some images that when you zoom, no matter how you zoom to the highest, the image is still clear. So when you are doing graphics, you need to get maybe good camera, good phone to take picture. If you want to go and get the picture online, there are platforms where some individuals have taken it as business, that there are graphic designers that need clear picture, that do not have good phone. So they have taken different category of picture that a graphic designer might need, and they have uploaded them in their website and put a key. So when you see it and you like it, you want to download it, say, okay, yeah, you pay for it. You see someone's business now. It deliberately went to go and get a good camera and snap different picture and upload it, and people are buying. But that same website, there are some free one that they will give you. And then if you want to go outside the free one, then you will not pay. So image is very important as one of the key elements. So let's talk about the last key element before we go into how to assess the Photoshop after looking at its brief introduction. Layout is also a very key element. Layout means composition balance in graphic or in info content creating. Layout, when you hear layout, it means what? Composition and what? Balance. Composition and balance. What does that mean? Because this is a few terms that we need to understand as infographics content creators or graphic designers. What is composition? What is balance? Balance is just like what we learned in school, equilibrium. Now, the way you calculate your balance is that you have a right top here that is using red, and then you have another right top here that is using blue. So balance is that it can be like this. It's not balance. What it means is that the red is louder than what? The blue. So it did not balance it. So at the end of the day, maybe due to the features you use on both, one is not equated to the other. Yeah, there are times that we deliberately make one higher than the other because we want to really focus. We want them to what? That is the main capture that we get their attention. But at the same time, you must find out how the colors on that particular element balances other things. There must be a balance. Composition is the word crafting. That is what bringing out everything, the arrangement. That is what they are under what? Layouts. So any questions so far before we look at introduction to Photoshop, which is the app that we are focusing on? And for the sake of those that have enrolled for the graphic design and the video editing, we'll be learning graphic design with Photoshop and the video editing with CapCut and the Adobe Premiere. CapCut is a mobile base, while Adobe Premiere is the main app for learning video editing, which is computer based. So though it was not mentioned in the adverts, but we are adding CapCut to it. All right, so any question on what I have said so far? So if you have anybody that wants to learn graphic design, this is the best place they should be. This is an opportunity. Sometimes when we announce some things in the group, people don't understand that we want to test those that know how to recognize opportunity. All these things cost people heavily. If you meet me now that you want to learn video editing alone, I know how much I spent to learn video editing. 1 hour I was paying 10,000. 1 hour I was paying 10,000. 10,000 per hour, 1 hour. And how many hours I spent? I did not even finish it with one person. I have to pay another person again. 1 hour, 7,000. So you can see these are the things that we are advertising and some people are not taking advantage. So that is sometimes you look at people that, these people, they didn't really know what these people are giving out. If you know anybody that they should key in, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. Any question on what I have said so far? Any question? Any question? Because we want to focus on Photoshop now. I want to focus on Photoshop. Any question?
I think everything is well explained and understood.
Okay.
So you can write down.
Okay. All right. So I believe same with others. Now let's look at brief introduction to Photoshop, being the app. There are other apps. I think I mentioned two. I mentioned CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is for shape design. If you want to flexibly draw shapes, that is where you have for general design, like all these ID card, all these things that people that are not even expensive. All these ID card of how much, all those ones you use CorelDRAW to handle. When you want to do mature design that fetches money, like all these large formats, there's Photoshop you use. So let's look at introduction to Photoshop. Now, we are going to be calling it Adobe Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop. A-D-O-B-E. Adobe or Adobe Photoshop. So Adobe Photoshop is a raster graphics editor. It's a raster graphics editor. Raster is R-A-S-T-E-R. Raster graphics editor, which means in brackets, you write photo editing, digital painting, photo editing and digital print painting. So when you want to brand, you see some graphics that say, I'm into branding. They brand umbrella to become a PDP umbrella or ADP umbrella or APC umbrella, or brand cloths, T-shirts. They'll brand it with your company logo. All of those things are things you can easily do with Photoshop. Or branding of car. Right? So Photoshop is a raster because that raster means that what is a graphic design app that design most with images. Images have good quality in Photoshop than CorelDRAW. Talking about the quality, because originally Photoshop was created for photo editing, as you can hear, Photoshop. But it's just that after some time, they have to start introducing the one that can do design. Before, it was CorelDRAW that we used to have for graphic design. It was nothing like Photoshop. Photoshop was only used for photo editing. So when you finish editing the photo, you take it to where you are designing it in CorelDRAW. But now we are doing everything in that Photoshop because it now has the tools for doing that. So when you want to do imagery design, it's Photoshop that you should consider. Design that you want to work more with images. All right. So just to mention other graphic design, we have Adobe Illustrator, we have Canva, we have Figma. All these are different graphics, but Figma is not for, it's for UI UX designer, people that develop application, a sketch application interface for the real programmers. So, but they fall under designing application. That is why I mentioned them. So how do we install Photoshop on our system? I believe the people doing graphic design, we have already installed Photoshop for you. And then Mrs. Oikos, if Photoshop is not in your system, you can find a way to reach out to me to get it installed before the next class, where we shall be focusing more on the design. But this class is just an introduction. But you can check your system. It's possible that someone must have installed it. And I would not advise us to go and download it. Yes, if you are very good at downloading, you can download it, but it's very complicated. If you start a download and you did not complete it, and you bring it to an engineer to install, it might lead to formatting your system, because some of those wrong ones that will ask for you, that will ask you to pay money, will have been rooted in the system. So until you clear them before you can put in the offline. So the Photoshop you are supposed to install is the licensed one, the one that will not expire. So I have it. If you want it, you can find a way to reach out to me. And also, definitely you will come, because you also need to install the video editing. But for those that are joining from far places, what you will do is to go to a nearby what's it called, this computer vendor, people that sell software. They can install them for you there. So if you are living like Lagos, you go to Computer Village. If you are living in Asaba, go to like Kowe. So they all have all these applications. So you can look for the one near to you and consult the technicians to install it and crack it for you. But if you are living within Asaba, then you can catch up with me. I can install them for you. All right, so now once you have installed the Photoshop, how do we launch it? Because I just want to teach us how to access it and then explain the interface, and then we stop there. So on Friday, we will now start learning how to do simple design, and then we keep growing like that until we are able to become professional. So how do we access it on our system? To access Photoshop on your system once it has been installed, if you have the icon represented on your GUI, as what graphics user interface like this, you locate it and double click on it. But where you do not have it here, then you can click on the start button, click on the start button, and then from the start button, you will see the list of your apps here, and then you can see it here. So if you are going to get it elsewhere, please go for this version. Or if you can get the one that is higher than this, it's still okay. You can come across Photoshop 2020, but I prefer this because this one is in between all the versions. So once you can find it here, you click on it, or if you have pinned it, you find it on your taskbar. That is if you have pinned it here, but if it's not, then you just locate it here and click. So for those of us that have installed, so you can follow the step, and then for those of us that have not installed, write down your step. So hopefully before Friday, which is going to be the next class, you should have find a way to have it installed. So you give it some time, depending on your system speed. It can take a while, but just hold on, it will definitely open. I hope we are following. Mrs. Oikosi, do you have it installed already? Have you checked your laptop whether it's there?
It's not.
It's not, right? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so
I say yes.
The yes, is it there? I wanted to know, sorry. Do you have it?
I say it's not in my.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
have
okay,
it,
okay. So you can find a way to bring it for installation either today or you have today and tomorrow to install it, so that whatever design we'll be doing, you'll be able to follow us up. So for today, we are not doing any design, it's just an intro. So now, you see, this is how mine open, but your own will not open like this. Who has opened it so that I can allow you to share your screen so that everybody can see how it will look like for the very first time? It's because I've done some design.
I've opened it, sir.
Okay, so let me allow you to share now, so you can share. Let's see. Share, just share.
Okay.
Let's see.
Turn on the sharing request.
Have you tried clicking on it? Let me see what is so I can share. Okay, go ahead now. I think you should be able to share. I just want everybody to see it, so that if you're on the good, so this is how it will open. This is how it will open, because he has not done any design. But you saw how my own opened. The recent design will be showcased there. But in his own case, he has not done any design, so it's going to open like this, right? So now, since we are not going into graphic design at the moment, we will not consider setting up a designing environment. It's just for us to know how to get to. So you can stop sharing. You can stop sharing. Let me share back and continue. So I just wanted us to see how it looked like. This is the first interface you get, and this interface is referred to as get started interface. Get started. So from here, you are to choose the kind of environment. If I click on this PS, you see, when you click on this PS, you will no longer see those recent design. If you click on this home icon, it will bring them back. So we must know that we can toggle between your recent design and what? Between the main app by clicking here. So this is the main app. This is when I want to see my recent design. Now, if I want to go in before I explain the environment, which is plan of this section, is for me to either say that I want to create a new environment for either photo editing, because Photoshop is used for photo editing and graphic design. But we are going to start with photo editing logic first before we go into the graphic design. Because if we go into the design, where we need a picture that we need to remove its original background so that it can blend with our design background, we'll be having issue. So on Friday, I'm going to focus on how to manipulate photo, how to set, how to probably, delete pimples, how to correct the picture, how to standardize the picture, how to remove the background, how to, modify the picture to the standard you want to use it in your design. That is what I'm going to focus on Friday. So, but today's session is just an introduction and show us how to access the program and then familiarize us with the program environment, and then we stop there. So part of familiarizing us with the environment is what I'm doing right now. So we have learned how to access it, and I am saying that for you to get to the environment where you can start your work, either you want to bring in photo or you want to do design, you have to click on what? Create new. So the moment I click on create new, it's going to prompt me a dialog box. So I want us to pay good attention here, right? So this dialog box you are seeing comprises so many settings that you need to put in place. So many settings. And what are the settings? All these settings you are seeing here, 80, 1080 by this, these are the settings that have been implemented in some of my designs. But if we should go to Mr. Ifaye's screen now, he's not going to see as much as this, but he's just going to see a default. I don't know if he can confirm to us, so he's going to see just few because it's yes to what? To set up for different designs.
I'm just seeing the custom and the default Photoshop size.
Okay, so can you quickly share again so that they can see it? Because not all of us have the program installed, so that when they eventually install, they will see what we are saying. Okay, I'm coming on your screen now. Now you can see it. Just to, because he has not done. So the more you create different settings for different design, all of them will be what? Assembled here. Okay, so you can stop sharing now. So now, but because I am not designing yet, so I can go in with any of this. But by the time you start designing, maybe content that you are going to publish on Facebook, you will go and research the dimension. What are the flyer sizes that can be posted on Facebook? When you want to design something you want to post on TikTok, you go and research the standard size. All these social platforms have their standard size. All right, and all the configurations are on the internet. You don't need to stress yourself. When we get there, we do this research together. Because you might be wondering why I'm using 1080 by 600. It's because of a design goal. Because of where are we going to post this particular design. So that was what led to using all these sizes. But in your own case, just click on any of the customize. And then once you click on it, you are going to have this section that talk about preset details. Now, this section is talking about the width and the height and the unit and the orientation and the color mode. So let's start from here. Let's say you want to design for, let's say you want to design a flyer. You want to design a flyer for, marketing on social media. So you click here and put the name. Let's say what? Flyer. Then after that, So, all right. So you type the name here, then the width. So let's say I'm designing to Facebook standard. I'm designing to Facebook standard. Facebook standard for advertising is 1080 by 1080. So I will say what? 1080 by 1080. All right. Now the units matters. Are you designing with pixel, or with inches, or with centimeter, or with millimeter, or point, or Picasso, or Picas? All these are units. But anything you are designing that will be converted to an image, anything you are designing that will be converted to an image, you are to design it with what? Pixel. Now, the orientation is the placement, whether it's going to be a vertical object or horizontal object. You know what? From my dimension, I don't need to prioritize this. You know why? Because this is already a square. So me choosing whether landscape or portrait does not matter again. It does not matter again because the dimension has automatically made it what? Square. I hope somebody is getting it. Let me get a response.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the resolution is what determines the quality. I was talking about the camera the other time. There are some camera that when you snap with them, the image you snap with them, is once you zoom it a little bit, the image become blur. The image become blur. So, like I was saying, the resolution is very important. The resolution is very important. The more you increase it, the lower it is in terms of the way it is here. So if I put 100 here now, this is going to give me a higher quality of resolution. If I put 150, that is going to be higher than what? That 300 that was there. But as an infographics creator, you need to understand when to use all this. You know, we have large format printing. We have small design like ID cards. So when you are designing those large format printing, you know, they are large. So you need to ensure that the resolution is high. If not, by the time they print it, everything will look very blurry. So in that case, you don't use like 300, 400. The average standard is between 100 and 150. 100 and 150. So depending on how big it is. So that is what this resolution controls. Then the unit of it is always in pixel and what? Inches. Then the color scheme. We have different color. Let me take this out. We have different color. So we have RGB, that's what? Red, green, blue color, which is like the primary color. And they are in different what? Bits. They are in different bits. So which means that if you design with 8 bits, the color quality is less than when you design with 16 bits. So, but at the same time, your design will be heavier the more you go with what? Higher bits. So if you are designing something that will be uploaded, and the interface where it will be uploaded, they have stated that it should not be more than 10 kilobytes. Then maybe if you are working with this one, that will make it look very heavy. You just come here and choose what? A smaller what? Bits. Then the background of the design environment you are asking for, by default, is already programmed on white. So you can click here and choose a color. So you can click here to pour the color in the bucket and then choose the particular one you want. And then you click what? Okay. Now, by the time I click on create, when I'm done with the setting, just watch what is going to happen. So it will give me that setup. That is what? To create a background that will come with that color. So finally, with this, we have been able to what? To get to the working environment. That first interface was just get started interface, where you have the opportunity to navigate which environment you want to use. It's either you want to pick from the recent one. So if I click on this again, like I told us, it can always bring me here. If I click here now, it take me back to what? To the environment that I set up. All right. So let me get a response from another person, not if we are following before I explain other parts that I want to explain.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So now the next thing is for us to understand the environment. So we just finally got to the environment. So this is Photoshop environment. This is Photoshop window. So what is the next thing that I should know as a beginner? I should be familiar with what? The structure of the application environment. I should know the name of this section. I should know the name of this section. I should know what is this. I should know what is this. I should even know what all these parts are all about. So that is what I'll quickly walk us through, and then we will stop there. So the whole of these parts, or let's start by saying that the Photoshop interface is broken into different sections. And each of these sections has different tools, different functions that you need to know, so that when you are working here and there is need to consult any of them, you know where you can access them. So let me start from the top. The whole of this section I'm navigating at is called the application title bar, just like the way we know it from basic app like Word. So the application title bar constitutes, in this case now, constitute the tabs. You know, in other app, you have the tab different from the application title bar. But here we are combining them together. You have the tabs. The tabs are these menus. These are our tabs. They are like different containers with different instructions inside them. So when you are working, there are times you come to consult some of them inside file. There are times you come to consult some of them inside what? Edit, and so on like that. All right. Now, towards your right-hand side, you have these three standard buttons that we also have in other programs. This is for minimizing. This is for restoring. While this is for maximizing. This is for closing. So all these, we need to know them. So like I said, we just want to familiarize ourselves with the environment. So we are not going to start talking about their function. So when we start designing, probably on Friday, you get to know based on what we are doing, that will determine whether the solution is in here or the solution is here. So that is just for us to understand that there is a section called the application title bar. Now, the next section I want to explain to us is this section, which is called the standard tools bar. The standard tools bar display command shortcuts depending on the particular tool you are working on. So for example, if right now we are on this particular tool, and these are the associated word command to it. So if I create an object now, let's say I want to create a cycle, and I come here and I select this, for example, so that we understand. You see that initially some of these things were not on because they were waiting for me to create an object. So the moment you create an object, you will see some of these properties are becoming active. So that is why it is called the standard toolbar, or we can even say that is the property bar. In other words, it displays the properties of any selected tool. For example, right now we are on this tool, and that is why we are seeing the properties. So if I move from that tool to this, you see that the properties are changing. If I go to another tool, so every tool that you are using has their own what property for further adjustments. So we should just know that the whole of this section is the what? The properties bar. Then the whole of this section is the tools box, where you have all the tools. So in the next class, we'll start touching some of them because of some of the tasks we are going to perform. All these tools, if not all, you must know 90% of them, because that is what will determine your creativity. There are certain things you want to do that you will come and consult these tools. You cannot work with them. So this very section that constitutes them is called the tools box. Now, the next section I want to explain is this section. This is called your editor. This is called your editor. So any picture you want to work on, you must bring it here. Any shape you want to use for your design, you must create it here. All your work must be done within this editor. Now, the next part I want to explain is the navigator. The whole of this section is called the navigator. So now from here, there are a lot of things we can do just to show us a few of them for now. You see, we have layer, we have channel, we have parts. All these are very important. Layer here, in the next class, you understand it better, but just to explain now is that layer is the shape, like this shape now that you created. You can see that we are having two layers. What it means is that one of them is for this shape, the other one is for the background. So you can control the layers from here. For example, now if I don't want to see this, now I can turn it off. You can see that I have disappeared that particular layer. I don't want to see it for now. Probably I'm doing some assessment. I want to see how the design will look like without that layer and know the impact it's making. So I'll just come here and then turn it on. Then I can do at the same time, okay, I want to turn off the background. Click here, you turn it off. That is automatic way of deleting the background now. So what we are seeing here is not a background, it's just plain background. So there are a lot of things. Now, this particular layer, you can decide to say, okay, you want a kind of a different color of it, like grayscale, like this, different. So layer, there are a lot of things you can do there, particularly under layers and this. But what I want to show us now is there is a place where you can turn this off. It can happen that you log into your Photoshop and you discover that you can't see your layer. And if you cannot see your layer, there are a lot of things you will not be able to do. When we start working on Friday, you understand it better. So now just to show us where you can get some of this layer active. All these things that are here, they are color, which we can only understand when we start the proper design or photo editing. So if I go to window now, for example, look at the layer that we have there. So if I click here, you can see that that particular section of layer has gone. So, but if I remove this one now, you see that that layer is no longer there. So it can happen like this. You are looking for the layer, you can't find it. You go to window. From window, you'll be able to see the layer. There are all these other things that you are seeing here. They can also be regulated here. This color you are seeing here now, if I click here, it has gone. So if you want that color to be there, if you want that color to be there, you go back and select that same word. Remember, it was column. And you can also take note of their shortcuts, how we are accessing them. So there are some that are here that are not active. If I want them, I click. So I just added 3D when I start working with creating 3D tests. So there are a lot of things you can activate and deactivate from the layer. So all these adjustments, whatever, when we start the main work, you know when to use all these things. So this is where I am going to stop. So what have we achieved today is now we know what graphic design is all about. What are the key elements that drive creativity involving using different apps. This creativity that I highlighted, those key elements, whether you are in CorelDRAW, you observe them. Whether you are in Photoshop, you observe them. Any app, so long as graphics, you must abide to those words, rudiments. Any question, please? I hope everything I've explained is clear. So please, if you have anybody that you feel that should be here, make sure you contact them. On Friday, what we are going to do is just to come straight and start working with pictures. Come straight and start working with pictures. And the way we are going to do it is that while we are working with picture, we will also blend design to it. We'll start bringing in basic design on pictures, even as we are editing picture, before we get to the main aspect where we want to sit down and say, okay, we want to design a flyer, want to design a banner, want to design any of those things. Any question, please, before I end the class?
Hello,
No
sir.
questions, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I thought you are going to start with the basics. Or is this the basics aspect of it?
Yes. The photo editing is the basic now. It's the basic. If we are not starting with the basic, I won't do all this one that I'm doing now. All this introduction, they are the basics now. They are the basics. You can't start with advanced. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't become a professional when you have not. No, you have to start to do small design, small editing, and then before you now advance. That is how it was. Okay, that is the only question you have, right?
No problem.
Okay. So have a nice day, everyone.
But I'm seeing this peer some.
I think networkers. All right, so just in case you come across this video and you want to reach out to us to train you live via Zoom like this, you can chat me directly on +234 7069 66 5919 +234 7069 66 5919. You can reach us. You can also visit our website at www.digitechz.com.ng. You can WhatsApp me also on that same number, and then we'll add you to our WhatsApp community. All right, so do have a nice day. See you on Friday morning.